Martha Bladen, and I'm the director of the Switzerland County Historical Society. I'm standing in front of what was a Presbyterian church and is now our historical museum. It was built about 1860, however, there was a Presbyterian church on this site starting back in the 1820s. We find that's true throughout Vevay, that they had earlier churches, and now the ones that are still in existence are the ones that were built around 1860, like the Baptist church and the Methodist church. And each one of them had a parsonage that was built next to them, and that was in each case about 50 years later. So you can see how the economic development has to take place before you can get the continuation of new buildings. One family that has a particular impact on the architecture of the area is the Shanks. Now there's the home of Ulysses P. Shank and his wife Justine here on Market Street, and it was built about 1840. Well, then about 1850 is when he built his store building that's on Ferry Street. Then about 10 years after that, then they're putting money into the Baptist church, the building of the Baptist church, and then also the parsonage. And then after that, his son is building what is now known as the Shank Mansion. And so here we see decades of development of architecture related to the Shank family. There are some other families where we see a continuation also. We have the Grizzard home here on Main Street, and then we have the Grizzard Business Building, which is on the main corner in Vevay, and it is now the Community Arts Center. There's also some of the remaining architecture is related to hotels, like the Swiss Inn. It originally started as the LeClaire House, and then it was in business from like the 1820s and 30s on up to the end of that century. But then by 1940 there was a major fire. So the building you see there now is completely new built at that time, because the people in the community really wanted that main corner to have that hotel back. And so it was a group of people got together to make that happen. And so that's still in business now. Some of the houses that are in the area have become bed and breakfast, like one being the Shank Mansion, which was the son, Benjamin Franklin Shank. And then we also have a beautiful home down at the end of Market Street, now called Pleasance Rose. And Mr. Pleasance was a partner of Shank for a while also. Most of these places were built during the time when hay was the main agricultural crop. There had been a patent in 1843 for a hay press barn. Well, they didn't just do one barn. There were over 200 of these barns throughout the county. So it was really the economic development of the middle of the century. And so a lot of the store buildings and houses we see in Vevay were done during that time. We're very excited about Vevay now being on the National Historic Register with their historic district. And it's exciting because it's not just all the same thing. The thing about Vevay is you have a variety of architectural styles.
Hello, my name is Donna Weaver. I'm the director here at Musee Vinoge. historic site in Switzerland County, Indiana. We are on the National Register and have been since 1997. We're listed under 3 categories: architecture, ethnic heritage, and settlement. Our site is designated outstanding, and of course we think it is too. The house itself was built in 1828. It's a 3-room house. We have 1 room downstairs. It's fairly decent. It's about 18 by 20. Upstairs we have a small room. It's a finished room. It's about 18 by 12. When I first saw it, it was a tumble down. It was going to be burned by the fire department as an exercise. The rumor was that it was a log house, some mystique about log houses. So my husband and I came over and we had permission to look for those logs. We began hacking in the walls and we did not find any logs. What we found was what's called brick nogging in between timber frames. So we have the timber posts on either side and then bricks laid up in between. We didn't have a clue as to what it was, so we had to do a lot of research. And at that time we didn't know who owned the property, who lived here. We knew nothing about it, and we had not seen that sort of construction before. So we had to almost take it apart down to bare bones to find out, one, where the location of the stairway was, because when we first saw it, not only were there 3 rooms attached to the building, the stairway went right up here to the 2nd floor. And when it did that, of course, it cut off one of the big beams, and I'm talking big beams, to the ceiling. Then the ceiling had fallen, the floor was crooked, the windows were 2/2s, not the 6/6s that we should be having. So a lot of research was done trying to figure out what the house actually was. And then it took us from start to finish, because when we became a nonprofit to when we first opened to the public and could walk into the house, 16 years.
Hi, my name is Pam Haynes. I am the president of the Switzerland County Vevay, Indiana Tourism Board. I'm here to tell you a little bit about our sweet little Kirky County that's located right on the Ohio River. Vevay offers so much for visitors to come to do. We have restaurants, we have food trucks, we have home-cooked meals, and we have high-end steakhouses. We also provide some really nice lodging, whether you want to camp, whether you want to stay at the casino, or just any of the little B&Bs that we have in town. It's a very, very nice place to spend the evening. We have a little gorgeous art center located here in Vevay, as well as a quilt shop for all you quilters out there. She has so much material, you'll be in heaven. We also have beautiful Amish country. If you come, you'll have to watch for the carriages that will take you straight up to the Amish store that is located at the top of our hill here in the county. We also have some absolutely beautiful historical architecture in the county that you can do a walking tour. Takes you about 3 blocks away, and you'll be amazed at all the different architecture that you will actually see. I'm also standing here in front of a wine press, and the reason for that is because Switzerland County is the home of the first commercial winery in the U.S. It's an absolutely beautiful place to see. Please come visit us. We have the river, we have restaurants, we have tours, and we have fabulous events. We have a top 10 event called the Swiss Wine Festival that occurs on every August that brings in droves of people and some high-end entertainment. So please come visit us at any time. We'd love to have you. Thank you.